Night descends like a veil over the world. The lights go out, the streets empty, and the tumult of the day disappears. In this silent darkness, everyone returns to their private lives. Some to recreation, others to forgetfulness, and still others to prayer. But Allah never sleeps. Neither drowsiness nor sleep overtakes him. Surah 2:255. While all creation surrenders to rest, the Lord of the universe remains, watching over the heavens and the earth. It is in this hour that the sincere believer feels the heaviness of sleep, but also the inner call to stand before Allah. Salat al-isha is not just another prayer. It is the seal of the day, the moment when the servant says to his Lord's surprised face, Allah, I have given you my moments of dawn, I have given you my efforts of the day, and before closing my eyes, I offer you my last prostration. It is the invisible door that connects the present time to eternity. Like a precious key, it locks behind us the accumulated errors and distractions, and opens before us the path to the nocturnal peace. The Prophet gave this prayer immense value. He said, whoever performs the Isha prayer in congregation, it is as if he had prayed half the night. And whoever performs the Fajr prayer in congregation, it is as if he had prayed the whole night. Muslim. Think about this weight. By simple obedience at the moment when fatigue crushes you, Allah writes down for you the reward of long hours of worship. This is a tremendous honor for one who stands tall while others give in to laziness. But how many of us neglect it? How many say to themselves, I'm too tired, tomorrow I'll catch up, as if tomorrow were guaranteed? Sleep is deceptive. It comes as a sweetness, but it can be the prelude to your last breath. Ibn Qayyim said, prayers are the food of the heart, and he who abandons them lets his soul starve to death. So what are you worth if you leave this world with a hungry heart, deprived of the light of Isha? There is a solemnity in the night that nothing replaces. The believer who rises to pray feels his body heavy, his eyes burning with fatigue, but his soul rises above the world. It is as if the outer silence resonates with the inner silence, and each prostration tears off an invisible chain that weighs on the heart. He who tastes the prayer of the night knows that sleep will never give him such peace. Consider the contrast. Some fall asleep without remembering Allah, like travelers who collapse without caring about the road, while others turn to Him before closing their eyes, knowing that this night could be their last. To which group do you want to belong? The hadiths abound on the merit of these moments. The Prophet taught his companions invocations to recite before sleep, like an invisible rampart, O Allah, in your name I live and in your name I die. And when he woke up, he said, Praise be to Allah who gave us life after He had caused us to die, and to Him is the return. Every night is a reminder of death, every awakening a sign of resurrection. The believer who meditates on this does not sleep like the carefree. When fatigue crushes you, when your bed calls you insistently, an inner voice asks you, what is heavier? 10 minutes of prayer, or the weight of a lifetime of regrets? What is sweeter? Immediate sleep, or the certainty of having surrendered your soul to Allah before closing your eyes? These questions strike the heart like discreet but powerful blows. They do not leave you in peace until you have chosen. Look at the generations before you. How many men and women stood up despite fatigue, because they knew that true strength is not in the muscles but in the mastery of the soul. Ibn Taymiyyah said, prayer is to the heart what water is to the fish. What happens to the fish without water? So is the believer without Isha. He suffocates in the ocean of dunya, unable to breathe the light of the hereafter. So when night surrounds you, when voices fade and faces disappear into shadow, remember that your Lord is waiting for you. He never forgets. He does not sleep. He welcomes every prostration, every sigh, every tear. And you, what will you do? Will you let sleep take you or offer to Allah your last waking breath? Allah, in His infinite wisdom, has placed prayer as a beacon in the night, a source of purification and strength. The Qur'an says, and establish prayer at the ends of the day and at certain times of the night. Good deeds dispel evil deeds. Surah 11:114. This verse is a promise. Every rak'ah you perform, every bow, every prostration is a light erasing the shadow of your mistakes. Like a light rain washing away the dust of a long day, the evening prayer erases the invisible traces left on your heart. Imagine all that your soul carries after a single day, glances where they shouldn't have been, words spoken without thinking, wandering thoughts that have stolen your spiritual energy. These stains accumulate like stains on a light-colored garment. But Allah, in His mercy, offers you Isha like a divine wash, pure water that cleanses what the day has stained. Every rak'ah is a light. The Quran calls it light, this clarity that cannot be seen with the eyes but which illuminates your interior. When you stand in prayer, it is as if you were saying surprised face, Allah, I offer you my exhaustion, I offer you my weary heart, and I come to you to be washed. Ibn al-Qayyim wrote, prayer nourishes and purifies, and it washes the soul of the rust of sin. He who clings to it finds the freshness of a living heart. The Qur'an adds another truth. Whoever puts his trust in Allah, He is sufficient for him. Surah 65:3. This verse is not just a consolation, it is an invitation. When you place your forehead on the ground in prostration, you are nothing more than a fragile servant laying down all that you carry before the Master of the worlds. Why keep your worries locked in your heart, when Allah calls you to lay them at His feet? Why bear the weight of your burdens alone, when the Almighty promises to be your sufficient one? Every prostration is a purification. In this gesture you remind your soul that it is nothing without Allah. Ibn Taymiyyah said, the heart finds its greatness not by rising above others, but by prostrating itself before Allah. Prostration is the moment when man is closest to his Lord, even more so than in moments of glory or power. When your forehead touches the earth, it is your ego that is crushed and your soul that rises. And what about the worries that keep you awake? Those thoughts that spin in your mind like an endless wheel? Listen again to the Quran's reminder, whoever puts his trust in Allah, He is sufficient for him. This is a formula that should be repeated until it is engraved in the heart. It is the remedy for anxiety, the antidote to anguish. Al-Ghazali said, he who knows Allah fears nothing, and he who does not know Allah fears everything. Thus, the believer who prays his Isha before sleeping entrusts his soul to Allah with serenity, like a child who entrusts his hand to his father to cross a road. Evening prayer in this perspective is not just a duty. It is an invisible protection. Allah says in the Quran, seek help in patience and prayer. Surah 245. The believer who falls asleep after performing his Isha sleeps under the wing of this protection. It is no longer a matter of simply closing one's eyes, but of closing them with the certainty that one's soul rests under the care of Allah. And you, how do you want to fall asleep? Like someone who drags his worries into his dreams, or like a servant who has entrusted every worry to his Lord before closing his eyes? Ask yourself this question. What value did you give to your prayer today? Was it a mechanical habit, or a moment when your heart truly laid down its burdens? The night was created for rest, but also for remembrance. Allah says, and it is He who made the night a garment and sleep a rest, and the day a return to life. Surah 25:47. The Isha prayer transforms this garment into armor. It makes sleep not an escape but a pause in the care of Allah. It transforms the night into a bridge to the day of judgment, for every prayer is a light for the believer in the grave, and a light on the sirat on the day when the feet will stumble. So why close your eyes without turning on that light? Why let your worries spin and spin, when a prostration is enough to place them in the hands of the All-Merciful? Prayer is a refuge offered by Allah. It is the promise that you are not alone. It is the certainty that He who never sleeps watches over you, even when you sink into your sleep. The night is a mirror. It reflects your truth, far from the gaze of others, far from the noise of the world. When you close your eyes, it is no longer your money, your projects, or your status that accompany you, but your soul naked before Allah. So tell me, how do you really sleep? Is it the carefree sleep of one who believes he has a signed contract with tomorrow? Or is it the humble rest of a servant who knows that each breath could be his last? The Prophet, in his infinite mercy, left us a key to crossing this border between waking and sleeping. He would say before lying down, Bismika Allahumma amutu wa ahya. In your name, O Allah, I die and I live. Bukhari. Every night you taste a little death. Every waking is a resurrection, a sign that your soul has been restored by pure grace. Have you ever felt that dizziness? That reminder that no waking is guaranteed? So, if Allah were to call your soul home tonight, what would He find in your heart? Would it be the heaviness of a distracted heart, filled with regrets and unfulfilled desires? Or the serenity of a heart that has chosen to surrender itself entirely to Him before closing its eyes? You see, this moment before sleep is a door. You can enter it as a prisoner of the world or as a traveler to Allah. Ibn Taymiyyah said emphatically, the true prisoner is the one whose heart is far from Allah, and the true captive is the one whose desire binds him. So ask yourself this question frankly, what really binds you? Is your bed a refuge of forgetfulness or a place of abandonment to your Lord? Is your sleep an escape or an offering? Perhaps you fall asleep every night with your phone in your hand, your thoughts scattered, your eyes tired of vain images. But imagine, if your last breath were that night, what would you present to Allah? The silence of your negligence, or the beauty of your memory? The weight of a day without dhikr, or the light of a tongue that whispered, Subhanallah, before falling silent. Every night is a hidden test. And perhaps what matters most isn't what you do during the day, but how you leave the day. You think you'll wake up tomorrow. You think the sun will shine for you once again. But how many graves open each night to welcome those who had the same certainties? How many faces that were smiling yesterday have turned cold by morning? So tonight, don't run away from these questions. Ask yourself courageously, if this bed became your grave, if this sleep became your final journey, would you be ready to meet Allah? Or would your soul tremble, crying out for more time? The truth is, you have no promise of tomorrow. But you have this night, this moment, this prayer, this invocation. Before your eyes close, offer your heart the purity of a sincere tawbah. Let your burdens fall at the feet of Allah. Speak to Him as a child speaks to his loving father, as a servant speaks to his king, as a lost soul speaks to his refuge. Tell Him your fear, your fatigue, your hope. And sleep with the smile of one who has entrusted his soul into the safest hands. So tell me one last time, tonight, who are you? Are you a slave to sleep, chained by forgetfulness and negligence? Or are you a servant of Allah, who lies down like a traveler who lays down his burden, ready to meet his Lord, whether in dreams or in death? Remember the companions of the Prophet. These men and women were not made of any other flesh than you. They knew fatigue, hunger, the worries of life. But at night, when the world withdrew into itself, they found a strength that nothing could break. Omar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, the one whose name alone made empires tremble, broke into tears in his night prayers. His powerful knees, accustomed to carrying the sword, bent like those of a child before the majesty of Allah. In the silent alleys of Medina, some heard his sobbing voice reciting, I only complain to Allah about my sorrow and my distress. Surah 12 hours 86 minutes. And what about Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, that frail companion whose legs made people smile because they were so thin? Yet his heart carried an immense weight. At night, he recited the Qur'an with a vibrant voice, and his neighbors heard its verses rising like a light breeze. His tears wet the earth, and his prostrations lasted so long that some thought he would never get up again. His strength did not lie in his limbs, but in this secret intimacy with Allah. These men knew a truth we too often forget. Greatness is not in what people see of you by day, but in what only Allah sees of you at night. Their legacy is not one of riches or monuments, but of nights filled with prayer that shaped the history of Islam. Consider also the example of Uthman ibn Affan, may Allah be pleased with him. This man, of infinite modesty and gentleness, would sometimes recite the entire Qur'an in a single night. When his eyes fell upon a verse, he did not just read it, he lived it. His soul traveled to Allah, and each word became a staircase to heaven. Do not forget Ali ibn Abi Talib, may Allah be pleased with him, that lion of the battlefield who became humble like a fragile leaf in the night prayer. His voice at times trembled more before Allah than before entire armies. This is the secret of the companions. They were mountains before men, but simple servants prostrate before their Lord. Later, generations of pious successors followed this path. Al-Ghazali, the great scholar, forcefully reminded us, know that prayer is the ascent of the spirit towards Allah. It is the daily ascension of the believer. What is your ascension? What elevates your soul beyond habits and distractions? Is it the screen that captures your nights or the prayer that elevates your heart? These stories are not ancient tales meant to move you for a few moments. They are mirrors. They show you what you could be if you were willing to answer the call of the night. For the truth is simple, Allah does not only call you to live during the day. He also calls you to seek Him in the silence of the night, when eyes are closed, when hearts are at rest, when the streets are deserted. Remember again an anonymous companion whose story is reported. Every night he prayed for a long time in secret. No one saw him, no one applauded him. But when he died, his absence from the mosque was noticed, and the angels bore witness to his hidden prayers. This is the value of these moments. What you do away from the gaze of men is what truly elevates you to Allah. So look at your bed. It may be your prison or your springboard. It may be the place where you become heavy with sleep, or the place from which you rise to your Lord. What is your ascent? Will your heart choose laziness or light? When the call of night is felt, when your eyes hesitate between growing heavy and rising, who are you? Are you the heir of the companions or the slave of your comfort? Your companions showed you that true strength is not measured by day but by night. Their greatness came from those secret moments when no one saw them. And you, what will your legacy be? Extinguish the lamp of the world and light the light of the heart. The stars shine above you, but a greater star can be lit within you, the light of Isha. Every prostration is a secret entrusted to Allah. Every tear in the night is a diamond invisible to human eyes, but precious to the Lord. Repeat softly before closing your eyes, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. The Prophet taught Fatima radhiyallahu anha had to say these words before sleeping. They are better than a treasure. They are better than the world. The night then becomes a sanctuary, and your bed a place of prayer. So tonight, when you lay your head on the pillow, place your heart in the hands of Allah. If you wake up tomorrow, you will have gained another day to serve your Lord. And if you do not wake up, let your last act be a prayer.